Not today, Drake Maye. Not today. The Bills erase a 21-point deficit and beat the Patriots, staying alive in the AFC East.
You are Locked On Bills, your daily Buffalo Bills podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Bills Mafia? It's Joe Marino, author of the Herd Mentality Substack, co-host of the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast, co-host of the NFL First Read Podcast, and I am your host of Locked On Bills. Locked On Bills is a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. I want to thank you for making Locked On Bills your first listen every day, and a big welcome and shout out to our everydayers. You know who you are. Those of you who never miss a single episode, I appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Happy Victory Monday to you. The Buffalo Bills defeated the New England Patriots 35-31 and improved to 10-4 on the season. Like I said in the cold open, not today, Drake Maye. Not today. This Bills team has no regard for our health, but they fight, they have grit, and they truly are resilient. Now, they have issues for sure, but they continue to prove that no obstacle is too big. They're going to keep punching back, and more times than not, they're going to find a way. The hats and T-shirts were ready, but they remain in the box, and the Bills stay alive in the race for the AFC East. We'll do what we do here on these post-game reaction episodes. I'll give you the things I liked, the things I didn't like. We'll recap my predictions. But as we start with things I liked, we have to talk about this offense that produced 5 consecutive touchdown drives. The Bills were down 21-0. The Bills offense punts on their first 3 drives, including back-to-back 3-and-outs to start the game. The Patriots and the New England region is ready to celebrate a division title. Josh Allen says, not so fast. He engineers 5 consecutive touchdown drives. The first one, 7 plays, 42 yards, capped by a Josh Allen touchdown pass to James Cook. Then it's 6 plays, 44 yards, capped by a Josh Allen touchdown pass to Dawson Knox. 11 plays, 70 yards, capped by a James Cook rushing touchdown where he extends the football on 3rd and goal. Then it's 13 plays, 91 yards, capped by a Josh Allen touchdown pass to Dawson Knox on 3rd and goal from the 14, overcoming the nullified Josh Allen touchdown run on the play before, taken away by an Osiris Torrance holding call. Then 7 plays, 65 yards. James Cook scores from 11 yards out, and it proves to be the game winner. Just an unbelievably clutch performance from this offense. Huge conversions, huge runs by James Cook, huge runs and throws by Josh Allen. You get big catches from guys like Khalil Shakir and Dalton Kincaid and Jackson Hawes and Ty Johnson. Keon Coleman draws a big penalty. They just figured it out. They made plays, and they were not going to be denied. 3 punts to open the game, followed by 5 consecutive touchdown drives. 35 points for this offense. They go 9 of 15 on possession downs. They convert their only 4th down, and they go 8 of 14 on 3rd downs. 168 yards rushing. That's the most the Patriots have given up this year. The previous high was 140. The Bills get 168. 181 yards passing. The Bills score on 5 of 6 trips to the red zone. That's 5 touchdowns on 6 trips to the red zone. The only time they didn't score was the kneel out at the end of the game. So they truly go 5 of 5 scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Just an overall very balanced effort. Running it, passing it, huge conversions, finishing drives, didn't turn over the football, won the game. It's fun, right? To see it. It was absolutely a journey. Your heart rate probably had some, some big moments, but they get it done. James Cook, 22 rushes, 107 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, adds a receiving touchdown. So a 3-touchdown game for James Cook. And notice there were a lot of quick hitting plays. This wasn't James Cook, spending much time behind the line of scrimmage, pressing or anything like that. This was get it and go. We talked a lot about how the Patriots did such a good job of inserting their corners into the run fit. They got those big, long, physical corners. They tackle well. And the Bills helped overcome some of that with some quick hitting runs. You didn't see James Cook with quite as much patience in this game. It was get the ball and go. It's a nice little adjustment there. Josh Allen, the reigning NFL MVP, making a heck of a case here to win it again. 19 of 28 at 193 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 11 rushes for 48 yards. Khalil Shakir, 5 catches on 5 targets for 65 yards, has the huge catch on 4th and 2. That was going to be a pass interference on the Patriots, but the Bills were able to decline that because Khalil Shakir catches it. And how about Dawson Daddy Knox? 3 catches, 37 yards, 2 touchdowns. So Dawson welcomes the birth of a baby. His wife gives birth to a baby this week. And then he goes on to score 2 touchdowns in a Bills win and sets a new record for most receiving touchdowns in the history of the Buffalo Bills by a tight end, topping Pete Metzelaars. A lot of fun things here. But ultimately an offense that came to life, figured it out, and wouldn't be denied. That Josh Allen guy's pretty good, huh? Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. All right. We got a whole lot more to do. On the other side of it, I want to talk about things I liked on defense and things I liked on special teams. So, folks, be sure to stick with me. The holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every time. It's not just something you wrap. It's a way to share memories because Aura isn't just your average picture frame. You can preload the frame with photos before gifting it. So when they plug it in, the memories are already in there. And there's no apps to figure out. There's no setup headaches, just instant smiles. You can give this gift to grandparents, newlyweds, your parents, anybody who loves photos. And you get endless uploads of pictures and 30-second videos through the Aura app. You can add a personalized message right inside the frame so the gift feels thoughtful from the moment that it's opened. And I love this. The packaging comes gift ready. There's no price tag. There's no wrapping needed, which is a huge win. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off the best-selling Carver mat frames named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code LOCKEDON at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code LOCKEDON. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Welcome back, folks. Victory Monday. The Bills beat the Patriots 35-31. They're 10-4 so far on this season. Let's talk about this defense and the things I liked. We'll get to the negatives, folks. Don't you worry. We'll get to that. But we're talking things I liked here first. And I love the response. I love the response by this defense. They give up 3 touchdowns on the first 4 possessions. They look awful. They look lifeless. They turn it on. They turn it on. In the first half, they give up quite a bit. 5 possessions for New England in the first half. They get 3 touchdowns, a field goal, and they punt once. And then in the second half, they also get 5 possessions, and they get 2 punts, an interception, a turnover on downs, and then they score a touchdown, and it's a one-play, 65-yard drive. Travion Henderson, the Bills have it bottled up to the right, and then he's able to cut back across the field and score a touchdown. We'll talk about that in a little bit more and things I didn't like, but that's all they gave up in the second half. Literally, that's it. 2 punts, an interception, a turnover on downs, and a 65-yard touchdown. Now, look, there's no denying that they started the game horribly. And here's the thought that I have about that, because we've now seen, I don't know how many games, right, where the Bills start off horribly, particularly on the defensive side of the football, and then they put the clamps down. I said this on Bill Squad last week on Thursday, in that the Bills' defensive coaching staff has to coach above their talent every single week. And I guess when you consider the need to coach above talent, you're mindful of, all right, teams come in with a game plan. And then the defensive staff has to adjust. And it's like, as the Bills kind of get a feel for what the intent is of the opposing team, they tighten it up. And I think that's part of the coaching above talent. Like, when you go out there and it's 11 on 11 and you're feeling each other out, that's never going to be an advantage for the Bills, because they're just lacking so much on defense. Just not enough, right? Just the front, just not enough there. Very questionable type players that are filling roles in the back seven. They have to overcome this every single week. And so I think there is that initial feeling out process. And then, all right, now it's time for us to really coach above our scheme, or coach above our talent. And they figure it out. Talk about some huge plays defensively. How about 2 Matt Milano sacks? Not to mention 9 solo tackles. Matt Milano looked great in this game. Gets a huge sack on 3rd down of the Patriots' first offensive possession of the second half. How about Trey White with an interception? Now, yeah, it's on a 3rd and 24, and the Bills take possession of the ball at the 9, and so you say, oh, it's an arm punt, but come on now, don't act like that wasn't big for momentum. Sure, the field position was probably going to be pretty close if they would have just punted, but when you're talking about scoring and getting stops and scoring and getting stops, you get the takeaway there. That's big for the momentum of the game. The next drive, Matt Milano gets a big sack on 2nd down, so it's 2nd and 5. It goes into a 3rd and 12. They punt it, and Milano fought for that one. The first sack, Rousseau basically misses the sack, and Matt Milano cleans it up. That second one, he plays hard through that block and finishes. And then the last drive of the game for the Bills defense, where they have a chance to blow it and don't, you get a Greg Rousseau sack on 2nd down, and then Joey Bosa comes up on 4th down and deflects the throw, incomplete. Bills get out of there with a win. I thought they did a very good job of varying the looks in the second half. Really kept the Patriots guessing. And it was this contrast of sending pressure, sometimes sending 5, then also sometimes rushing 3. And you could tell Drake Maye, when it's almost like when he has that time in the pocket and he's contained and there's not like bullets flying at him, he could be a little bit slow on the trigger, right? And I think the metrics this year, when he's facing a 3-man rush, they're not very good. And so it's almost like he's one of these players that, as the chaos comes, the best parts of him, are unlocked. But when it's, he's got a little bit more time than he thinks he's going to have, the trigger can be a little bit tardy. And I think the Bills did a very good job of keeping him guessing. And obviously, they shut him down in the second half. Drake Maye, 5 of 12 for 42 yards and a pick, sacked 3 times in the second half, after he killed the Bills in the first half. It's good to see. It's good to see because, one of the big things that I know NFL teams are mindful of is how do you look when you play a division opponent the second time? Not only is it your second time playing them that year, and so you have a lot of familiarity, but playing a lot of common opponents, you're watching a lot of tape, a lot of common tape. And you think about the Dolphins' contrast of game 1 to game 2, it didn't tell a good story. And really, this one was on the brink of being a very bad story. But it felt like the more the Bills had opportunities to get reps against Drake Maye, the better they looked. 5 of 12 for 42 yards, picked and sacked 3 times in the second half. This guy was knocking on the door of being the NFL MVP. Not today, Drake Maye. Not today. I've been a big Drake Maye. So I've said probably more nice things about Drake Maye than anyone who's not covering the Bills or not covering the Patriots or a fan of the Patriots. I think very highly of him. I think he's a really good young quarterback. Bills had him figured out in the second half. A lot of good things on special teams in this game. Starting with Ray Davis. 4 returns, averaged 41 yards per return. Check this out. The Bills' average drive to start after a Ray Davis kick return was their own 46-yard line. And unfortunately, one of the outstanding kick returns early in the game, the Bills punted on it, which you hate to see, but some of those drives were a little bit shorter, courtesy of what Ray Davis was able to get done in the return game. Reggie Gilliam moved back to be the lead blocker on those plays, and that was a nice wrinkle there from Chris Tabor. In the past, it was like Ty Johnson and Ray Davis, or Mecole Hardman and Ray Davis, or some combination of players like that. They put Reggie Gilliam back there with Ray Davis, and you get a really outstanding lead blocker, and I thought that showed up with some of these returns. And Ray Davis obviously has really come along here this year in the kick return game, which is nice because obviously the offensive role is not quite what it was last year. He's picking that up and helping out in the return game, and the Bills need that. I think Mitch Wishnowsky, the Bills punter, was fantastic in this game, and I think he's really had a good year and maybe a little bit overlooked in some of the good things that have happened this year. The Bills go through a couple of punters early on. They get Mitch Wishnowsky. I think he's been phenomenal. He punted 4 times, and on 3 of those, the Patriots started at their own 12, their own 6, and their own 17. And that one from their own 17 was a big deal. That was when the Bills had punted and gave Drake Maye a game-winning drive opportunity. Well, he had to start inside his own 20. And I'll, just in this new NFL, starting inside your own 20 feels like a million yards ago, right? That was a big-time moment. And credit to Sam Franklin for outstanding coverage on that punt as well. So not only did the Bills have great kick returns, not only did they punt the ball well, but they limited Marcus Jones, who's like the greatest punt returner in the league, 5 yards on 2 returns, which is outstanding. Matt Prater goes 5 of 5 on extra points. A game like this, that's a pretty big deal. Matt Prater's been a little shaky this year on extra points, 90% on field goals, but he's missed some extra points, knocks all 5 through the pipes. It's a big deal. A game you win by 4 points. You miss one of those, and it's a field goal game, and things might be a little different. The Bills were able to really take care of field position in this game. The Bills' average drive start on all positions was their own 39. For the Patriots, it was their own 25. Bills have not been able to win field position in games of late. That was significant. The Bills get their 10th win of the season. Obviously, there's more wins to come, surely, right? But 7 consecutive 10-win seasons for your Buffalo Bills. Only 6 teams in the history of the NFL have ever done that. That's it, 6, including this current Buffalo Bills team. It's the Bills' 4th win all time when trailing by 17 or more at halftime. That's it. 4th time ever. The Patriots had won 120 consecutive home games when leading by 17 or more at halftime. Not today. Now, Buffalo had a 21-point comeback. That is the largest comeback by a visiting team in the history of Gillette Stadium. Not today, Patriots. Not today. All right, folks, we'll do things I didn't like here on the other side of it. We're going to recap my predictions and talk about what's next. So, folks, be sure to stick with me. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. The receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a big turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into that moment. They have live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly. Player props, they update as guys heat up. You can bet on who's going to score the next touchdown, drive results, totals, and more. Keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, and every possibility. I had some action in on an anytime touchdown for James Cook. He obviously rewarded me with 3 of those, and that was a fun extra win for this Victory Monday as the Bills knock off the Patriots. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. All right, folks, a lot to love about this game and obviously some things we don't like. Let's get into that. The number one thing that I don't like was a sequence towards the end of the game where I thought the Bills just about blew it. And the Bills go up 35-31. There's 6 minutes and 48 seconds left in the game. The Bills now have this lead, and the defense forces a 3-and-out. And the Bills get the ball back with 5:08 left in the game. And I'm thinking what you're thinking. It's time to go up by 2 scores and win this football game. 5:08 left. You're up 35-31. You get the ball, go score, and put an exclamation point on this thing. And I hated how the Bills attacked that drive. They have a James Cook run on first down for 5 yards, a James Cook run on second down for 1 yard, so it's 3rd and 4. And what do the Bills do on 3rd and 4? They run a screen to Ty Johnson. And boy, I hated that play call. And I really hated that overall sequence. Because that entire sequence, when you have a chance to really end the game, you make it completely irrelevant that Josh Allen's your quarterback, especially on 3rd down. Okay, James Cook's really good. We can live with him getting a couple of touchdowns or a couple of touches on that drive. But 3rd and 4, it's a screen to Ty Johnson. You're counting on Josh Palmer to hit a key block. It doesn't matter that Josh Allen's your quarterback on that play. Anybody can make that throw. That's just not an acceptable play call on 3rd and 4. They overcame it. The defense gets a stop. That's just bad process, especially in a high leverage moment. I want the Bills to be at their most sound, and I want the decisions that they make to be defensible. It's not defensible to me on 3rd and 4 for it to not matter that Josh Allen's your quarterback. Can't deal with it. And Palmer misses the block, and he has a bad false start earlier in the game. Remember that? The second offensive possession by the Bills, they're in 3rd and 4. Josh Palmer false starts, 3rd and 9. Josh Allen gets sacked and you punt. Those are 2 big blunders. Hit the block. Don't go false start. I know you've been rusty, but can you not be? If you're going to play, come on, let's go, bud. I like the skill set you have. You can't be making mistakes like that. So I hated that offensive sequence, especially that 3rd down call. Obviously, the very beginning of this game was just tough to watch, especially when you think about the Bills on that opening drive, getting starting on defense. You feel like you stopped them on 3rd and 7. And Drake Maye throws the ball down the field. Keyshawn Butte lays out to try to catch it, and he traps it. And he very clearly traps that ball on the ground. It should have been incomplete. Sean McDermott doesn't challenge it. He doesn't challenge it. It's not defensible, dude. It's early in the game. It's a 3rd and 7. It's a huge momentum opportunity. You start the game and you force them to punt. It's amazing. It's a great start. What's the risk? A timeout? You went to halftime with 2 of them. It's got to be challenged. It's got to be challenged. Got to be challenged. And then the next drive, the Bills get the ball. Josh Allen makes a great throw down the field to Brandon Cooks, who triple catches the ball. And it's called a catch on the field. Mike Vrabel challenges it, but replay assist is ready to go, baby. Not a catch. Didn't even review it. That wasn't a review. That wasn't a challenge by Mike Vrabel. Yeah, credit to him for challenging it like he should have. Better than McDermott in that moment. But replay assist is just ready to go, Johnny on the spot. Where were you on the first drive? I'm not defending that Sean McDermott shouldn't have challenged it. He absolutely should have, but does anybody understand replay assist when it comes into play? Nobody does. But challenge the play, Sean. You got to challenge the play. The overall start was horrible. You're down 21-0. There's just under 6 minutes left in the second quarter. In the first half, you're outgained 285 yards to 76. Weren't ready to go. Great finish, great adjustments, great resiliency. All those things are great, but the start of this game was not, it was tough. I'm pretty sure everyone was in the dumps, right? Just like, this is really going to happen. Just going to lay down. They didn't, but it felt like that through the first 20 minutes of the game. And then, of course, the run defense was a disaster. 25 rushes for New England. 246 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. They go over 9 yards per carry, almost 10 yards per carry. Of course, 2 huge runs, a 65-yard run, a 52-yard run by Travion Henderson. It's the only reason they scored in the second half was that play. Let's talk about that play. Really, really bad job by the backside. Front side bottled that thing up. But whether it's A.J. Epinesa not being able to crash down and make the play, or Maxwell Harrison just completely asleep as the backside corner, Travion Henderson bounces it back completely across the field and scores a touchdown. It's an ugly play. Bad reps there from Epinesa and Harrison, no doubt about it. I think it's where you really miss Christian Benford in this game, for sure. Some really ugly tackling at times in this game. Shaq Thompson, not the best, right? I've loved Shaq Thompson all year long, and this was not his best game. Larry Ogunjobi had a chance at a sack and winds up falling off of it, and Drake Maye gets a nice run. So some tackling issues. Obviously, run defense not good enough. The Bills get the win. Let's recap my predictions. I always do this. I did well this time. I predicted, number 1, a James Cook touchdown. We got that. We got 3 of them. And he hadn't gone 3 games without a touchdown since 2023. I was feeling good that he'd get in the end zone. He got in there 3 times. My second prediction was that the Bills would tag the Patriots for the most rushing yards that defense has given up all season long. They did that comfortably. The previous season high was 140. The Bills get 168. I predicted that the Bills would not turn over the football. That worked out. No giveaways in this game. After entering this game with 12 in the last 5, they committed multiple turnovers in 4 of the last 5 games. They go clean in this one. This is the prediction I missed. I said that Stephon Diggs would hit the over on his receiving yards, which was 50.5. He didn't come close. He had 3 catches for 26 yards. So I'm glad to be wrong about that. And then I predicted that the Bills would win, and that happened. So 4 for 5 of the predictions this week. Next up for the Bills, a road date with the Cleveland Browns. And obviously, they're alive in the division, right? They're alive. Now, they don't control their own destiny, but they're alive. In order for the Bills to win the division, so here's what has to happen. The Patriots must lose to either the Jets or the Dolphins. If they beat both, they win the division. That's it. And the Baltimore game that they have next week doesn't matter. Of course, the Bills have to run the table. So the Bills have to run the table, and the Patriots have to lose to either the Jets or the Dolphins. Now, if the Patriots lose 2 of their next 3, right, so it could be Baltimore, the Jets, the Dolphins. If they lose 2 of their next 3, then the Bills actually have some wiggle room. They could drop 1, but they can't lose to the Jets. So they're alive. And obviously, this was a big step in staying alive. Of course, if the Patriots won the game, they won the division. That didn't happen. Staying alive. And I think the important thing is you make the Patriots fight all season long. And whatever this postseason run looks like for either team, making New England continue to compete for all the things that they want matters. And I love what Sean McDermott's been saying about, the possibility of not winning the East this year. He's saying, look, we have our own journey. We have our own journey. And I think that's the right way to look at it. That journey continues next week against the Cleveland Browns. Next for this podcast is the All-22 review. We spent all day Monday studying this film, and we're going to get into it. We'll talk about all the stuff, right, that we normally do on the All-22 reviews. I would love for you to become part of our subtext or Substack community. That way you can get my actual film breakdown. So I go through and I send anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour of film to everyone, and I break it down, all 22 film, voiceover analysis, showing you things, and I'm excited to get into that on Monday. So if you're part of our subtext or our Substack, you're going to get a file from me. If you're part of the subtext, it goes right to your cell phone. I'm going to send you a text message with it. If you're part of our Substack, it's going to go right to your email. And you can become part of that. Go to thejoemarino.com. Join either the Substack or the subtext. You get additional content. You get text messaging from me telling you about Bills updates all week long, Bills text throughout the game. Go to thejoemarino.com and learn more about all that. You get a bunch of additional content. You also get into our Discord channel where we have over 2,000 Bills fans in there, a big organized group chat, talking Bills all day long, and we go live every Wednesday night. Me and Jerry Ostrowski, we break down film together. Last week, when we got together on our Wednesday night hangout, we went through all the Joe Burrow dropbacks that he held the ball for over 2.5 seconds, and we assessed the Bills' pass rush. And we talked about some of the run scheme stuff, and we'll have some fun stuff queued up again this week and all the things we have going on. So go to thejoemarino.com and see all of that. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. Victory Monday. The Bills are alive in the AFC East, knocking off the Patriots 35-31 in thrilling come-from-behind fashion once again. All right, folks, that's it for today. Thanks for being here. As always, I kindly ask that you share, subscribe, rate, and review. Have a great rest of your day. Go Bills! And I look forward to catching up with you again real soon.